And we are back with our second game of the night as we have the one seed Los Angeles Lakers going for this game to go up 2-0 in the series after their huge dismantling of the Oklahoma City Thunder in game one in Los Angeles. The Thunder just did not have any momentum as they shot below 32% in game one. Even with Chris Paul and Steven Adams scoring over 10 points, just no one else really showed up for them. And we'll see if they can switch it around in game two in LA. Big game. What is the key for the Oklahoma City Thunder to recover in this series with this game too?
Obviously, they shot very poor in game one, but they had a pretty good game from Chris Paul. But they're gonna need more scoring out of their second and third best players, Danilo Gallinari and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They're gonna need really the Thunder to have any chance this series. They're gonna need big games from all of them in the same game to match LeBron James and Anthony Davis, who obviously handled the Thunder in game one, and they had help from Kuzma off the bench, Caldwell Pope off the bench. So the Thunder are gonna need lots of help. And if you're the Lakers, you see how easy game one was. Obviously, you can't look ahead and say, oh, that's how it's gonna be the rest of the series. But Anthony Davis and LeBron James both have major mismatches in this matchup, and you should continue to see them take full advantage of it.
And the weird thing is, if you're Oklahoma City, you should have the same thinking too. SGA and Chris Paul need to come into the series thinking, we just beat the Utah Jazz, a great defensive team, maybe even a top 7-5 defense in the league, and now you're facing one of the top offenses in the league. And they have the mismatches when they're facing up against Avery Bradley and Dan Green. Yes, those are two good defensive guards, but these are two stars, especially in Chris Paul's veteran presence and now an uprising star in SGA. They need to show up tonight if they want to win. And the other issue the OKC had was you can't let Kuzma and Pope score 9 points each off the bench from game one. We didn't even see that Portland allow that one time in the series, yet they still lost 3-1. If the Lakers bench starts showing up, it's gonna be tough for any team to beat them. We are off in game two as the Lakers will start with the ball. And big game, have you been surprised by how well Avery Bradley's been playing this playoffs? As it seems like he's been having a throwback to his Celtics days.
Well, he played very well during and obviously he started Davis with the block here to start. Alexander with the rebound. No, I'm not really surprised. Obviously, he had that injury last year, but he's come back healthy, and he's played great as a 3-and-D player. Oh, Chris Paul's blocked now by LeBron.
Danny Green thinks about the shot, but decides to wait as LeBron will have a mismatch with Chris Paul on him in the post. Oh, and he just beats him all the way. Wow. No effort there by LeBron just to push Chris Paul out of the way. Nice move in the paint. The Lakers defense seems to be starting off exactly where it ended in game one as LeBron already has the first 4 points for the Lakers. Gallinari trying to get in the paint. Cannot. Fadeaway coming. That looks like a 2, and they cannot hit. This OKC offense just cannot solve the Lakers defense. It'll be 6-0 Lakers.
And again, the Thunder struggling. Score the basketball. Oh, Chris Paul turnaround fadeaway, no good.
But to be honest, that's probably one of the better shots they're going to get it out of their offense. It's got to be wow. And LeBron's post moves right now are just cooking the Oklahoma City Thunder. A Chris Paul fadeaway or even a Danilo Gallinari fadeaway isn't the worst shot in this offense. Those are the matchups they got to look for, but with AD on Danilo Gallinari, his only chance is going to be taking deep threes possibly. Anything in the paint is going to be tough to score. And Steven Adams has a good defensive presence on him in either JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard. So it's going to be tough for him to score as well or even get any offensive rebounds. And Chris Paul, ice cold so far as he's 0 for 4 to start this game. LeBron's going to go to the free throw line. This might be a 10-0 run to start if LeBron can convert at the free throw line. He cannot. It'll be 9-0 though to start. Blocked by Chris Paul. Ooh, good pass by LeBron. Can't hit.
Thunder will look to get their first basket here.
Wow, great defense by Davis, but he can't get the steal. Oh, it is stolen by Bradley, and he's going to have the fast break for 11-0 run to start this game. Big game. This might turn into another game one if the Thunder do not stop this run by the Lakers, as that's already their second timeout early in the first quarter.
Yeah, you might see Billy Donovan look to bring in some of the bench here to see if maybe the bench can score the basketball since the offense is struggling so badly.
And it seems you're right, as most of the bench is in for OKC, as they will bring in Muscala and Noel to combat the combo of AD and Dwight Howard being in. Ferguson takes a step back, can't hit. AD, wow, as Dennis Schroeder on him and posterizes Nerlens Noel. I don't think there is any slowing down this team right now, as they have all the momentum after beating Portland in that very close series. The fact that they were able to clinch out and come back so many close games, I think that was almost dangerous for this team and got them to a new level in the playoffs. But Dennis Schroeder will get the Oklahoma City on the board, as they now have 13 are down 13-2 in this game. Schroeder looking for
For the
pick and
Thunder.
roll.
The Thunder will need a great lob from Schroeder to Noel, who misses the wide open lob jam. LeBron open three,
Oh,
sinks
wow.
it. Oh, a deep two they call it. But I was saying on the Thunder last possession, their bench needs to step up and hit some buckets here. And obviously after that missed lob by Noel, it's not what you want to see. But they're not really known for producing many scores. I mean, Dennis Schroeder obviously is their main scorer, and other than that, they don't really have a go-to second guy off the bench.
And it's weird. The Lakers are just going to leave AD and LeBron in here in the first quarter. I think they're just going for the kill shot early in the first quarter to get a huge deficit built up. Davis is doubled. LeBron finally misses, but he can't get the rebound. It'll go into OKC's hands. Dennis Schroeder, 2 seconds left, takes the mid-range, does not hit. And an all-time playoff low so far in this simulation playoff as OKC only puts up 2 points. 17-2 is the end of the quarter score after one. As we get back here in LA in the second quarter, Oklahoma City only has 2 points, big game. Does this just have to do with the Lakers' defense, their offense, or both at this point? As we saw pretty much the same thing in game one.
And we saw a very similar game one. Schroeder can hit there. I'd say you've seen a little bit of both. The Lakers defense has been solid and forced some tough shots, but you've also seen the Thunder miss some wide open shots. Obviously, Noel missed a lob there at the end. There's a few Chris Paul misses early. There just some tough shots being taken, and their defense hasn't been great on Anthony Davis, LeBron, or any of the other Lakers, and that speaks to why they're down 15.
And if you're Oklahoma City, how do you change your defense to even stand a chance in this series if this is how it's going to turn into with a dominant performance by AD and LeBron?
I'm not sure if there's much you can do. Obviously, Oklahoma City doesn't have the stars or even the. Obviously, the Lakers are one of a kind with two of the top 5 players in the league right now, so it's a tough matchup for any team, but especially a team like the Thunder, whose big man is Steven Adams, and then they have a power forward or small forward, power forward, and Danilo Gallinari that isn't really known as a defender, is more of a scorer, and he has to match up with Anthony Davis, and then you have Terrence Ferguson or somebody who is a defender, but he's not a strong, muscular defender and doesn't have the years in the league like LeBron James has, and obviously LeBron James has been one of the best players in the world for quite a while and still is, so it's a tough matchup for anybody, but this Thunder squad, it will take a miracle.
Couldn't agree more, big game. Oh, and there's a lob to Adams. And it seems this is going to be OKC's one of their few opportunities, as they have most of their starting lineup in against the Lakers bench right now, and a few of their starters in Danny Green and Avery Bradley. If they're going to have any chance in game two, they're going to need to cut this down quickly to a 6 to 8 point deficit. Avery Bradley fade away. Chris Paul fade away. He can't hit, and this seems like almost a throwback Chris Paul game in the playoffs where he usually struggles, but he hasn't had that in recent years on the Rockets. Avery Bradley shoots a 3, can't hit. Chris Paul wide open. Can he get his first make? He does. OKC's defense has been doing a lot better against the Lakers bench here, but they just cannot answer as that spins out. SGA. Oh, he's in the post, but he's being double teamed. Takes a step back. Tough shot.
Nice move there from SGA, just a tough shot.
The issue is here for OKC. You've only put up 4 points in this quarter. Yes, you've doubled your total from the first quarter, but they don't have time for this as the Lakers are probably going to bring in their starters soon.
Russo picked up an illegal screen there.
Gallinari continues to struggle to get open in this series. Chris Paul, mid-range, misses again. And Kuzma will score in the paint as it's 21-6. Both teams have only scored 4 points in this quarter, big game. It's just the defensives have stepped up in this quarter, but now both offenses struggling as well.
Well, if the Lakers, obviously your offense struggling, but that's okay because your defense has stayed right on point of how it was in that first quarter. So obviously the Thunder haven't been able to make up any ground or really improve their shooting percentage that much off of 2 points in the first quarter, 4 points here in the second quarter. The Lakers have a nice lead built up. I
And it's
think they're
sad
in
though if
okay
you're
shape
okay.
with
Go ahead, man.
with LeBron and AD on the bench. Obviously, still it's a good sign for them. Obviously now they're in, but
It's just sad if you're an OKC fan. A lot of these shots Chris Paul's been taking, that SGA mid range, most of the time those are going to go down and be typical shots they're taking, but it just they haven't been able to hit them. And LeBron and AD in back, as you said, it's just going to be another run, I believe, for the Lakers here at the end of the second quarter. Schroeder, though, breaks through and he'll score. We'll see if OKC can get to double digits by the end of the half. Just crazy to even say it. They're at 8 points only. Wow, McGee just continues to show his inside presence and gets the offensive rebound and the easy layup.
on a block there by McGee, but offensive rebound Noel and finishes.
Rondo for three, can't hit. And at halftime, the Lakers lead this game 25-10 at half. As we head into our halftime show, it's been Lakers most of this game as their defense has shown up once again in game two as the Thunder shooting 21% at halftime. 0 steals, 0 blocks. Their defense did well in that second quarter. It was mainly because AD and LeBron were not in. Big game. Look at this huge game by the Lakers. I know the rebounds probably from all the misses by the Thunder, but anything else stand out for the Lakers for you?
Oh, you see the paint. Obviously, with 4 blocks, their defense has just been stellar. They have 6 dimes. They're shooting 52%. Basically, more than doubled the Thunder's field goal percentage. Just a tough start to game 2 here for the Thunder, and a great start if you're a Laker fan.
And we're going to head into the second half as the Lakers dominate early in this game as it's 25-10 at halftime coming into the third quarter. Big game, do you think we're going to see a run here by OKC early in the third quarter, or is this game all but over?
Well, I think you'll see there's a score there by Chris Paul who follows and one. I think you'll see the Thunder score the ball a lot more here in the second half, but I don't know if you'll see them make any sort of run to really cut into this deficit to make it a close game.
And I think the only thing that saved them was the Lakers only scored 8 points in that second quarter. This could have easily been a 20 to 25 point game if they didn't have that good defense in the second quarter. Here comes Bradley, easy finish. And big game, is there someone you want to see on the OKC side really step up for them?
We haven't really seen many shots out of Danilo Gallinari, but that's who I'd like to see maybe get the ball a little bit more to shoot. But We haven't seen that.
Yeah, and it's
LeBron
just
James yet again
you would expect
bullies his way down.
Billy Donovan to at least set up some 3-point shots for Daniel Gallinari, especially with how high his 3-point percentage is. But there's really been no offense for them, and even on some of these wide open shots by SGA, he just hasn't been converting. And Chris Paul's been pretty similar as he only has 2 field goal makes. JaVale McGee, one hand jam. 18-point lead as the Lakers are starting to heat up with their starters in. SGA will be fouled there by Danny Green. He'll go to the line for 2. And big game as we heard the news recently that the draft lottery is going to be moved. What did you think about this news?
Well, obviously, with the circumstances we have surrounding the world right now, I think it was a good move for the NBA. Move back the time clock, allow hopefully the playoffs to continue to happen. It'll be interesting to see how the lottery goes. We'll see if Golden State can get that number one overall pick and possibly trade it, or if they hold on to it and try and help out the Splash Bros of Curry and Thompson.
And after we saw how the new draft lottery system worked last year, as the Pelicans surprisingly got the number 1 pick and selected Zion Williamson, it was going to be exciting to see how this year's draft lottery would be, if there would be any surprises there at the number 1 through 3 spot. Danilo Gallinari finally takes a shot, but he'll miss. And just OKC cannot control the fast break in this game. The Lakers lead by 20 now. SGA will go to the line. Pope drives into the paint and he'll hit a little mid-range. And big game, that first half, 5 for 24 OKC. Just horrendous. And they're starting to do the same thing in the second half as they're now 2 for 8.
Yeah, they've never been able to really get a flow going in this game. And it's still continuing in the Lakers. A lot of that has to do with the Lakers defense, so this will probably keep up.
And the Lakers continue to go off offensively as Anthony Davis has had a big second half so far after LeBron James dominated in the first half, and Oklahoma City just cannot do anything in this game. Big game as we start to look at our games around the league. How do we think these two teams would stand against either the Clippers or Rockets in the second round? Or in the conference finals, sorry.
Well, obviously, I think everyone in the league and in the world has been hoping for a LA conference finals between the Lakers and Clippers. If that did happen, I think it'd be a great series. Now you'd see the real stars of LA shine. Howard there finishes a lob with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George against AD and LeBron. Obviously, though, the Clippers got to get through the Rockets first, and they're down 1-0 in that series after losing game one at home. And obviously, the Rockets, one of the first teams they played after trading away Clint Capella, their center, to go centerless, was the Lakers, and that was the big worry because how are they going to defend Anthony Davis? And Anthony Davis did have a monster game that night, but the Rockets ended up winning in LA. So it would be a very interesting matchup if whoever comes out of that Clippers Rockets matchup. And obviously, unless the Lakers blow a 2-0 lead in this series, you'll see the Lakers advance to the conference finals.
And I think that's exactly what fans and most of the league expected was the Lakers to, at minimum, make the conference finals. But even if the Thunder go down 2-0 here and end up not winning a game in this series, I don't think you could have asked for a better season out of the Thunder. They got to the semifinals in the playoffs. Oh, and AD ends the quarter with them making this is a 30-point game, 49-19. And our State Farm assist of the game as Pope threw that nice alley oop to Dwight Howard, as you just talked about, big game. And it's just been all alley oops, all fast breaks for the Lakers. And as I was talking about, the Oklahoma City Thunder, just unbelievable season. Just one of the biggest surprises around the league. Big game, anything else to say about how great their season's been, especially in the regular season?
Well, obviously, not a lot of people expected the Thunder to be even in the playoffs after they traded away Russell Westbrook and Paul George. But Chris Paul and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari and Steven Adams have really kept them afloat and got them up to the 5 seed. They stayed competitive. Billy Donovan, probably one of the top 3 candidates for Coach of the Year. And no, not much you can take away. I mean, who would have thought they would even won a playoff series? And obviously, the Lakers just really outmatch them in this series, and it shows. But yes, it has been a great year for the Thunder, and nothing but positives to take away, and a very bright future with all those first-round picks.
And Oklahoma City will miss again, as Oklahoma City's brought in most of their deep bench besides Schroeder and Diallo and Muscala, but now Nader's in as well. And big game with how the bench has performed for the Lakers in this series. Do you think it's a testament that they could compete easily with the Rockets and Clippers bench in a possible conference finals matchup? Or is this just two really poor games out of Oklahoma City's bench?
Well, obviously, Oklahoma City's bench, like we talked about before, other than the point guard of Dennis Schroeder, doesn't have a ton of talent or a ton of scoring on it. So obviously it's big that Kuzma and Pope and Dwight Howard have really gotten going so far in this series. But I think it'll be a lot tougher for them to get going if they do end up playing the Clippers or the Rockets.
And maybe it's been that move by Frank Vogel to put Rondo on the bench and Avery Bradley into the starting lineup. It worked very well in that Portland series as we saw him hitting a lot of clutch shots, and then they used LeBron as more of the playmaker. But OKC shooting an abysmal 23%, 9 of 39. It's just not something you see every day.
No, missed there.
And even if you look at those second half field goal percentages, 65% is a improvement for the Lakers after 52%. And we thought with how crazy the net shooting was, this second round has just been crazy. The Rockets and Clippers had an expected close game, but the other three series so far, big game. I don't know that I've ever seen something like this with the amount of blowouts, especially between some of the teams. Like the Heat and Bucks were expected to be close. OKC, it had the possibility of turning this, but not this bad.
Honestly, OKC before that Adam shot was shooting 28%, so they were under 30% yet again. They shot under 30% in game one, and they're shooting under or close in game two here.
And OKC was down 30 here at one point in this game. They cut the lead down to 20, even with the Lakers starting lineup in here, but it just seems all but too late, at least having some good momentum going into game three. But it's just interesting to see the Lakers don't have as dominant as a performance offensively, but their defense looked even better in game two. Paul, it's going to be a shot clock violation as he gets blocked on the fadeaway. And the Lakers, after that substitution, will bring most of their bench. Dwight Howard and one. The lead is back up to 22 with the possibility of 23 on the three-point play. And he will,
Howard
as Dwight
hits.
Howard has been hot most of the game. We're going to see the veteran Jared Dudley sub into the game, big game. Is there any great playoff moments you could think of from Jared Dudley in his long career?
Well, Jared Dudley, a journeyman here on the NBA, but known as a grit and grind and three-point specialist. Last year was one of my favorite memories. Obviously, when he went at Ben Simmons when he was on the Brooklyn Nets, and actually got ejected. I believe that was in game three or four.
Mm-hmm.
Dudley and Jimmy Butler were ejected. But yeah, Jared Dudley always has been the tough man of the team, willing to take tees, willing to get ejected, do the dirty, hard fouls, and always been a very lights out shooter too.
Yeah, it's good to see the Lakers give him a chance, and we'll see if he even gets more of a role off of their bench. Oh, Dwight Howard is there again. He'll go to the free throw line. And the Thunder are probably going to get one more offensive possession in this game. We'll see if they hold on to it or take one last shot. After the free throw there, Dwight Howard goes 1 for 2 from the line. It's 57-33. Adams will take a hook. Cannot hit as it rolls out. The Lakers are going to hold on to the ball here, and it should be a final of 57-33 as the Lakers take a 2-0 lead in the series. So far, this series has gone as expected, big game. 2-0 Lakers. They expected that as a 1 seed, but we're going to take a look at the box score after their 57-33 win. The Lakers side, it's pretty similar to Game 1's performance, just not as dominating of a bench performance. But you still have JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard with 6 points each and almost perfect shooting, 8 rebounds and 10 rebounds. You like to see that out of those two, as well as their star performance as always. Anything else on the Lakers side? Big game?
No, obviously, you see, as you pointed out, LeBron and Davis carried the load again, but the bench played quite a lot of minutes on this blowout game, and then they put in some nice points, especially out of the big men and McGee and Howard.
And we look at Oklahoma City side. Oh, it's just another tough game out of their guards. Chris Paul had a good game one, scoring over, I believe, 12 points, but he shoots 2 of 12 in this game. He hit a lot of those tough shots in game one, but in game two, not the same stories. Only 5 points. Steven Adams, 2 for 3, only taking 3 shots, 6 rebounds. And SGA, your leading scorer, at shooting 1 for 5. Really disappointing game, big game. Anything else on Oklahoma City side?
3 of 17 combined for Paul and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And throwing Dennis Schroeder there, 2 for 8 as well. And obviously, Deonte Burton was their 4th highest man there, and Deonte Burton didn't play until the scrub minutes there at the end. Danilo Gallinari only takes 2 shots. Just not what you want to see.
Yeah, and the fact that you have 2 starters score 0 on 0 of 3 shooting, you can't have that, especially, as you said, Danilo Gallinari. Well, that's going to do it from LA, as the Lakers are going to take a 2-0 lead in the series in blowout fashions in both games. 57-33 is your final. And we'll be back tomorrow with 2 more games, as the Bucks and the Heat will face off in Milwaukee for game 2, as well as the Rockets and Clippers in their game 2. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining tonight.